welcome to Facts and Two Cents. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. Hope you are well. Hope you had your vitamins. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, this is a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby, Lily, Mama, Doria, Pula, Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad, and Mama Mia. I always forget Mama Mia. Welcome to all of you who are hanging out right now with me. Welcome, all my friends. I hope you're getting some sleep. I haven't slept yet. I feel like I am so overwhelmed that I'm like, I saw Robert giving out double everything. And I'm like, yes, Robert, double everything for me. Double my Martinelli, my cranberry Martinelli spritz. Double. I don't know, if you're on social media, if you follow stuff along with on social media, but oh my goodness, it's been it's been a thing. Harry's pair is just, I'm telling you, stock up on your vitamins and buckle up, find a seatbelt somewhere and buckle yourself in because we are in for a ride. I'm telling you, we are definitely in for a ride with Spare. Oh my goodness. And I don't think anybody is getting spared, not even Harry himself. I don't think anybody is getting spared from Spare. It's like, nope, you're not spared. But anyway, before we move on, let's just say hi to all of our friends in the chat. Hello, guys. GB Man, how are you? Welcome. And Des Mops is here, and Black Queen is here saying hello to everyone. And Church Nelly, our awesome moderator, is here. Hello, Church Nelly, and all our awesome squaddies out there in South Carolina. Hello. Let's see. Ann Fu is here from Trinidad and Tobago, my home peeps. There we go. Hey, Ann. And Lorna is here. And Rosa. And Fancy, and Lydia, our awesome moderator, is here who's saying hello to everyone. Hello, Lydia. How are you? And our awesome other moderator is here, Karen M. Hello, Karen M. How are you? Let's see who else is in the chat before we go on. Let's see, Lorna, we got you there. And Jennifer, we got you. Dolores. Yes, Robert, thank you so much. Robert is Buenasera, Pedal and fellow squaddies joining from Rome at 17:30, and the wine bar is open in a light day of explosive news. I am sending over 2 Martinelli cranberry spritz. LOL. Absolutely, Rob. Thank you so much. I need my double today. I need double everything. I don't drink, but I need to think I'm drinking today. It's just been a lot. Let's see who else is in the chat. Verda Sanchez. Hello, Verda. How are you? She's like, I'm at work and I'm listening, but I won't be commenting. That's okay, Verda. Thank you for listening. Happy you're here. And Carolyn, wait, did I just say Carolyn? But either way, Carolyn is here. B10 Pal. Joyce is here. Hello, guys. Verda, Joan, Commonwealther, and Verda, I think I just got you there. Let's see, Mad World. Is it Inzuri Malkia? I hope I said that right. Inzuri. Love that name. And Rory is here. And B10 Pal. And let's see who else I didn't get. Alma is here. Hello, Alma. And all of our other friends. We will catch up as we go along. So, gosh, if you have been on social media in the last, 24 hours, not even, probably 15 hours, 16 hours, whatever it was, I lost track of how long it's been. You've been flawed in every which way, shape, and form by a whole lot of things. And so I know Harry's Spare is going to be out next Tuesday, and if you're feeling like me, you're a little upset because supposedly, Penguin Random House and all the other book people that are supposed to be protecting this book allowed it to be leaked. And I'm like, how did this happen? How could you not have been prepared that somebody is going? This is the most highly anticipating book probably of the decade. And you all didn't have proper security to get this thing to not leak. And I was like, of course, I tweeted at them. I'm like, this is so unprofessional. So I'm one of those that are not enjoying the fact that this leaked. And this reporter from New York, apparently, and I was like, oh, at first I thought it was a British person. And then I was kind of ragging on, on the UK. And then I realized it was a New York person. And I had to like eat crow, you know. I was like, I can't believe a New Yorker did this. I mean, I don't know if he's a New Yorker, but apparently he got it from New York, and he apparently works for the Washington Post or Washington whatever. But he leaked it to the Guardian in the UK, and I was like, well, why the Guardian? You know, well, I mean, I guess he could have leaked it to the Daily Mail. That would have even been worse. But you know, so he leaked it there, and so we got some information. And no sooner did that happen than we heard that somehow inexplicably it's on sale in Spain. This book is not supposed to drop for another 5 days, and somehow language barrier, language problems there. Like, they dropped the book today, and so it's literally on sale in bookstores in Spain. It's just like, this is a mess. This is an absolute mess. And I mean, granted, it's on sale, so people are buying it, which is fine. You know, Harry's like, oh, probably is like, you know what, people are buying it, they're getting the word out, whatever. And then next thing you know, I looked around and someone from the Sun apparently flew to Spain. I kid you not, flew to Spain to get a copy of the book. Obviously, it's in Spanish, so now it's being plastered over the Sun. It's just like, so at this point, I'm like tweeting at Penguin Rand. I'm like, just release the book. I mean, it's already out. They're already posting a lot of the book in the paper. Just let it out. Let's just, do an early release. It wasn't planned, understood, but, so that way they don't just plaster the whole book, and again, if you are on this side of the world and don't want to, just don't look at the Sun, don't look at any of their stuff, because for the next few days, that's all they're going to be posting, I'm sure. It's going to be countless articles making money off of the book before anybody else got a chance to read it, which is something that they were trying to avoid. I don't know how this happened, how a book publisher like, Penguin Random House allowed this to happen. I don't understand this. For me, this is like such unprofessionalism, such carelessness, that I'm like, there is no way if I was Harry and Meghan, I would go anywhere near Penguin Random House ever again. I would just stay far away. I mean, this is just the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen in my life. And on the other hand, again, people are buying the book, so, that there's that. But it's just like, oh, and it's like, okay, whatever, And so part of this is a picture of it in Spain. There it is. Emily Nash from, I think she's at Hello magazine. She tweeted, copies of Prince Harry's memoir are already on sale in Spanish bookstores today, 5 days ahead of January 10th publication. You're like, oh God. Oh, well, what else? It's, and someone was like, well, they released it on Kindle, and I went on and I was like, nope, it's still on pre-order. So I don't know, maybe they will. I mean, I hope they do that. I mean, of course it throw off the schedule with the interviews and stuff like that, but so what? Would you rather all the things come out and before people have a chance to read it, or would you rather just release it early and then it's fine, we'll still watch the interviews, it's totally fine? And so I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they'll just keep the schedule, and maybe the Sun can only publish a certain amount, or the Guardian could publish a certain amount of it. They've published little excerpts of it. It's like a 500 and something page book. So there's a lot of stuff they're not publishing, I guess. But still, I don't want to know until the 10th. Until I read it. I don't want to hear it or see it or see screenshots of it. But it's okay. Some of this stuff is already out. It's already all over the press. So I'll show some of it here. If you don't want to see any of it at all, please, for the next maybe 20 minutes. Just log off the channel. And if you want to see it, and if you haven't, and you just want to see the excerpts, that it's already there. It's all over the world already. It's, worldwide news already, so it doesn't really matter. But if you don't want to hear it, I totally understand. Just log off, and you can always come back later, or just listen to the replay of just the parts that you want to hear. So anyways, one of the things we learned is that we were right all along. I am so amazed at how us and the Sussex squad just tagged this guy for exactly who he is. Like, we nailed it so perfectly about Prince William. Like, I am just like blown away at Sussex squad. I am blown away. Every single thing we thought this incandescent, abusive ball of whatever he is exactly who he is. And it's just like, you say something and you see certain characters, but then you don't know the person, you've never met the person in real life. So there was always a bit of hope, maybe, and maybe it's just me, that maybe the person is better than I'm thinking, and maybe their character isn't as bad, and maybe I'm just overreacting or overthinking, or maybe I'm just reading too much into what it seemed like they are. And so I always have that kind of feeling that, I kind of want to give someone a little bit of a benefit of a doubt, that just maybe I may be wrong about them. And maybe there's something there that is like, oh, Petal, see, it wasn't as bad as you think. And I always want to feel that for anyone, because I feel like it's only fair to give them some sliver of a benefit of a doubt. And it is so amazing to me that this man has turned out to be exactly what we think. This incandescent, abusive person is just exactly this incandescent, abusive person. And this rage monster. And it's like, oh my gosh. I was just like, oh my goodness. This man is exactly what we are. So, again, if you don't want to hear any of this and you don't want to know anything, please log off the channel and come back later, or in replay or something. But so this is a little bit, it was leaked to the this guy from New York got the book, and so he leaked portions of it to the Guardian. And so this is a little bit of what he leaked to the Guardian. I'm gonna remove my banner so I could make sure I read everything. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. And so this is some of what apparently, William and Harry, obviously they've been having issues, a lot of big issues between them, a lot of disagreements, fighting. Harry referred to it as this like catastrophe, and so William apparently was upset, and apparently was upset at basically how he was thinking of Meghan, that he was, he thought Meghan was rude and abrasive and difficult, and he was coming over to talk to Harry so they can work out their relationship and also his his feelings, I guess, about Meghan. And so this is some of what is happening. Some of what happened is that describing the confrontation at his London home in 2019, Harry says William called Meghan difficult, rude, and abrasive, which Harry calls a parroting of the press narrative about his American wife. He set down water, so they got into a hassle and a fight over a verbal fight over William, referring to Meghan in this way. Obviously, you can tell the black woman trope right off the bat there. So they got into a verbal argument about that, and it just got, I guess, getting louder and louder and more intense. And so Harry got a little nervous, and he went in the kitchen, got William water, hoping he could calm him down, whatever. And so he gave William the water, and then he goes on to say he set down the water, that's William, called me another name. He was calling Harry all these names, and then came at me and it all happened so fast, so very fast. He grabbed me by the collar, ripping my necklace, and he knocked me to the floor. I landed on the dog's bowl, which cracked under my back and piece cutting into me. I lay there for a moment, dazed, then got to my feet and told him to get out. Harry writes that William urged him to hit him back, citing fights they had as children. Harry said he refused to do so. William left, and Harry says he then returned looking regretful and apologized. When William left, his brother writes, he turned back and called, you don't need to tell Meg about this. And Harry said, you mean, oh goodness, it looks like I accidentally cut off part of it. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. And Harry said, you mean that you attacked me? And then William says, I didn't attack you, Harold. And so William called, instead of Harry, he called him Harold. And that name is very, very important. So let's hold on to that name for a second. So he's like, no, I didn't attack you, Harold. And it's so wild when we talk about, how they've been trying to tag Meghan with the narcissist word. And, that she's a bully, that she's a narcissist and all of those things. And it's wild because you see the projection in William. He is upset that supposedly Meghan is rude and abrasive and difficult. Yet he feels nothing about going to attack his brother and knocking his brother to the floor, And it's just like, are you serious? He thinks nothing of that. And not only that, in trying to goad his brother into hitting him back. And it's one of those things that is so insidious. Because what would happen if Harry had hit him back? What would happen? What would the narrative be today if Harry had hit William back? William is the heir to the throne. What do you think the narrative would be if Harry had thrown a punch right back at William? And I'm so happy that Harry had the presence of mind and the calmness in spite of all of that to say, I am not going to hit you back. And he refused to do it. Less a person, I know I would have been throwing things at William. I would have been, but Harry's like, no, he refused to do it. And, and then William left, and then he comes back looking regretful and then apologized. I'm so sorry. I, whatever it is I did. And then when he leaves again, he's like, yeah, you don't need to tell your wife. You don't need to tell Meghan. And then Harry's like, you mean you attacked me? And then the part that I accidentally cut off is where he's like, I never attacked you, Harold. This is a man who literally attacked his brother. And what do narcissists do? When they do something and you call them out on it, like Harry just said, you mean like you attacked me? One of the first things they will do is gaslight you in making you think that, oh, no, I didn't attack you. What they do with that is to and I'm sure a lot of you may have, be in touch, or come in contact with narcissists, is to make you start doubting yourself. Well, wait a minute, was that an attack? Did he attack me? Did I start this? Is there something I did? They're so good at this. I'm reading this thing and I'm like, this is like total narcissistic behavior. And all this man has been doing this whole time is projecting who he is on Meghan. This abusive, thinking in terms of when we got that, that accusation that Meghan is a bully. And I think this is exactly it. He thought Meghan was going to out him because Meghan knew what. And, if you read further into it, I'm going to put the link to it, and I didn't want to, use up all the article, but so that you can read it if you want to. Harry said, he didn't tell Meghan right away. I mean, if you look at the timeline, it looked like this happened when Meghan was in New York, when she was in New York for the baby shower. Because when she came back and they went to Morocco, Harry had these bruises on his arm. And I didn't bring in because it's so disturbing. I didn't even want to look at it. I remember when I first saw it back in 2019, I was so disturbed. I couldn't figure out where would he get these bruises on his arm, on his hand. And, there's another photo with bruising on his face. And it sort of fits into that timeline when Meghan was in New York. And then, so Harry said he didn't tell Meghan right away, but he did call his therapist right away. And, and it's just the presence of mind to be like, okay, because all that time Harry has been working on his, mental health. He's been boxing, trying to, it's like, because he was saying like you always felt like you wanted to hit someone. And here he is in a moment where if he had thrown punches at William, it would have been perfectly understandable. And he was so calm to be able to be like, no, I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do that. I am not going to throw punches at you. And it is so wild because he said that, when he told Meghan, like, she wasn't angry. She was just really, really sad. Because here she is, she's in a situation, she's pregnant, she's in a place, it's an abusive situation. And he said that also that she wasn't surprised. She didn't seem surprised at all. But she was just, overwhelming sadness about what happened. Because eventually she saw the bruising and he had to tell her what happened. And it's a situation of, there she is pregnant, and William comes over and he's calling her all these names. And, obviously she's a Black woman. She knows what those things are, those microaggressions, those Black women trope that he just throw there and attack his brother because his brother wouldn't go along with him. And it's like, do you think what I was going to leave his wife, just going to agree with you and leave it? Like, what did you expect was going to happen? And it's so wild. And it's so funny that he called, William called him Harold. And again, I'm going to post the link to this so you can see it for yourself. But it's very interesting that he uses the name Harold instead of Harry. And also, Harry calls him Willie instead of William. But he uses the name Harold. And it's very interesting because one of our squaddies, as usual, pointed out, we saw that name Harold recently. I'm going to move my little banner there so we got everything. We saw that name recently. And this is where we saw it, in the Sun. And you guys may recognize this article. We all know in our heart of hearts that Harold Markle is a slight, dim, but fun-loving chin who flew Apache helicopter gunships in Afghanistan and cavorted around Las Vegas hotel rooms with naked hookers. But along came Meghan, who obviously used some vivid bedroom promises to turn him into a warrior of work. And now it seems that she uses her arm up his, private area and can use her fingers to alter his facial expression. I'm sure you guys know who wrote this article recently. And it's very interesting because I hadn't heard anybody use the name Harold referring to Harry before. And all of a sudden, William is using it in a way that, it's like Harry. It seemed like in a derogatory way, to belittle Harry in some way. And then the person that we heard use it just 3 weeks ago, it was Jeremy Clarkson referring to Harry as Harold. And this was a post from Richard Eden. He says, conversation must have been lively at Queen Camilla's lunch in Mayfair this week, with Piers Morgan and Jeremy Clarkson among the guests. This is from Clarkson's typically forthright column in the Sun today, and we know what happened with the rest of that article, where he's talking about Meghan being dragged around the streets naked and people throwing feces at her. And it's very interesting that name. And I'm like, wow, how much you want to bet that, they could be saying, oh, it's not my lunch. And there were just people invited. There were just reporters, whomever invited to the lunch. But how much you bet, Jeremy Clarkson had a conversation with Camilla or William? Because that name, Harold, referring to Harry, I mean, at least I haven't seen that name around. A couple of people have said that they've seen it around among the Rangers, those trolls that 24/7 attack Meghan. But I haven't seen that name Harold referring to Harry. But it's just wild that that is who William. That's how William refers to him. And here is Jerry McClarkson referring to him in the same way. And it's so yes. Very, very, very interesting to me. And I mean, what is it? Like, I don't know, a month, 2 months ago, I think it was in October, we did a whole episode on Prince William the Bully. And we looked at all the ways that, from Robert Jobson's book, how he, wrote about William. And this is a book that was supposed to be complimentary to William. And then it started being serialized in the Daily Mail and was promptly deleted and dropped. And this book never went anywhere. One, because I read this book and it's a book about nothing. It's a person who has accomplished literally nothing in their lives. And it's just incredible. Minlo saying great detective work, Pedal. That was not my detective work on not unfortunately, but that was one of our squaddies' detective work. She was the one that put those together, and I forgot to bring her name in to give her proper credit. So thank you for bringing it up so I can say no, that was not my detective work. That was one of our squaddies from the Sussex Squad Detective Agency. Who put the Harolds together. So thank you, Squatty. And thank you, Eleanor Parker, for your super sticker. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, and there's another one. Oh, I totally missed this one. Legs, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Says Lex says, I think we know who broke Guy's legs. He's pathetic. I know. So many of us on Twitter have been saying that. I hope Harry talks about Guy's legs. And obviously we saw pictures in the Harry and Meghan docuseries with Guy with the bandages around his legs, and it's just like, I want to know. Would anyone be surprised if it has anything to do with William or his staff members? No, none of us would. But anyways, so William and 40, Robert Jobson's book that we covered before. Here's again a little bit about what he wrote about William and his bullying, abusive behavior and attitude. Says in private, however, like William is very, I guess pleasant in public, but he goes on to say in private, however, William can be sensitive and a difficult character with a short fuse and a fiery temper that can blow up because of frustration at any time, particularly when it comes to issues regarding his family. He has been, going on, I see the bottom part, it says, even senior members of his circle, his staff and senior members of his circle will check which way the wind is blowing with William before becoming too self-assured in his presence or raising a problematic issue that would be better addressed at another time. Some insiders claim the Duke can be an emotional character who is on occasion difficult to handle, a description that defies the calm family guy public persona he has cultivated. As in any marriage, he and Catherine, whom he married in 2011, has been known since the pair became a couple as undergraduates in 2003, are known to have heated exchanges from time to time. He can be a bit of a shouter when he loses it, one close aides admitted. And even though they all know this, these are the same reporters who, when Harry talked about at Sandringham, when William was yelling and screaming at him, many of them were like trying to, let's clutch my pearls. What do you mean? William was, screaming and yelling. It's like it was like a new teaching. They had never heard about William yelling and screaming. Here's Robert Jobson writing it in his book. They all knew. Today they're all, a bunch of them started admitting, yes, William has a fiery temper. Charles has a fiery temper. They're all starting to admit that, what Harry's saying. And going on, it says, another part of the book says, it is perhaps this chameleon-like characteristics that makes his father Charles, Prince of Wales, sometimes tread carefully when dealing with him. William has been known to insist on deference too, from those ranked from those royally ranked below him, like Harry, in the line of succession. But in truth, when dealing with those above him, he is rarely different himself. Like the only two who are above him were the Queen and King Charles at the time, and he's rarely different to them. He rarely shows them any deference. Going on, it says father-son relationship at close quarters, says William. Father-son relationship at close quarters, says William, as a direct heir, sometimes appears to forget, whether purposely or not is unclear, that there is a hierarchy in which he ranks below his father. Deference doesn't appear to be in his vocabulary when it comes to his father. One well-placed source said, it must seem odd to the Prince of Wales, who has always honored his mother and late father. Not quite true, but that's for another day. Another senior ex-member of the royal household said, of course, he's very respectful to Her Majesty the Queen, sure. And when it comes to his father, if he thinks they are, it's as if he thinks they are as direct heirs to the throne on the level, said the ex-courtier. Another part of it says William was alarmed that some of the stories, when the fake bullying charges, think about what we just read about William and his fiery temper and how he treats his father, his staff, all the people around him. Just remember what we literally just read. And this is this is William's supposed attitude when he supposedly hear about the fake bullying charges that he made up. William was alarmed at some of the stories he had heard come to his ears about his sister-in-law's treatment of staff. Although William has been known to be short-tempered, he always tries to adhere to his father and grandmother's directive to be polite and cordial to the staff because they are not able to answer back. On occasion, he had exploded, but if he did, he would be the first to personally reach out and apologize. Oh, how nice of you, William. Oh, just how nice of you. Robert Jobson also wrote about William in his book, Charles at 70. That's, that again, as I said the last time, this is one of the reasons I'm sure Robert Jobson, from the day he heard Harry was writing his own book, he has been attacking Harry front, back, center, and all the way around. Because I am absolutely sure Robert Jobson was in the middle of writing Harry at 40. Because, and that has all gone into the wash now because Harry just wrote his own book. Anyway, so this is what he said about William in Charles at 70. He says, given his seniority in the royal pecking order, William expects deference from his younger brother and the other royals. However, he does not always show his father the same level of courtesy he demands. William was, for example, happy enough for Harry to pursue his passion for the Invictus Games. The games have been a major success and it still slightly peeves William. He makes sure his younger brother is aware that he is number one in the hierarchies of status. All the staff, even the palace switchboard, know William can be difficult and a little grand. He hates sucking up to people and lobbying for the country. This is evidenced by his dislike of lobbying FIFA delegates for England's 2018 World Cup bid. Mind you, he's the president of the FA in the UK. When it fell by the wayside, William looked for others to blame for putting him in that position. That is the character of this man. Always wanting people to know that he is number one. He wants to be treated with deference. He shows no respect, to those above him, and less respect to Harry and the rest below him. And so this is the kind of character that we're talking about. So I don't think anybody should be shocked that about what Harry wrote about William. This is who he is. How many evidence, there's like a million on Twitter now. It's like squaddies are posting evidence of William's incandescent with rage behavior all over. There's so much I feel like I'm overwhelmed. Seems like almost every post I go by, something with William's rage. and him being incandescent with rage and his bullying behavior is so much overwhelming evidence of William's abusive behavior that not even royal reporters they can't dodge it. So now it's like, well, yes, we know Harry has, he has a temper, whatever. I mean, even Valentine Lowe today posted like, oh yes, well, of course William has a temper, like, like his father, and it's just like, this is the same Valentine Lowe who wrote the first article that William bullied Harry and Meghan out of the UK. And I've been tweeting at him ever since. Like, and he's the same one, and of course they did that whole fake thing that Harry and William signed and said, no, that didn't happen. William never bullied us out. And obviously, according to Harry, that is a lie. Nobody asked him. And so William went and signed both of them for him. And the same Valentine Lowe that they all of a sudden, just before the Oprah Winfrey interview, William, a bully, became Meghan, a bully. And so I've been tweeting the same thing at Valentine Lowe ever since. Like, so Valentine, can you tell us how exactly William, the bully who bullied Harry and Meghan out of the royal family, became, Meghan the bully? I haven't heard back yet. I even tweeted it today again. But he wrote that today, that of course William has a fiery temper, same as Charles, but William, he has made sure to tell his staff to please nobody say anything about Harry. He want to make sure that none of his staff say anything bad about Harry, as the docuseries and all of that stuff. So I posted video of him. We talked about this video a couple months ago of Patrick Jepson, Princess Diana's bodyguard, who made this documentary of one of the things Prince Charles did was exactly the pattern William is doing now. He literally is textbook following his father, where he leaks to the press. Oh, no. We're not, I've told my staff, nobody in my staff is supposed to say anything bad about my brother. Nobody is supposed to be, we're not going to say anything. We're going to have a dignified silence. This is the exact same thing Prince Charles did. And then all of his people leaked all of these lies, all of these damaging lies, including that Princess Diana was mentally unstable to Penny Jr. and Jonathan Dimbleby and all of those things. This was all in this time. And so when Patrick Jepson did this book, he interviewed Robert Jobson. He also interviewed that Daily Mail reporter who I always never remember his name, Robert Patrick, whatever his name is. Richard Kay. Oh, I can't believe I remembered Richard Kay's name. I always forget. Richard Kay, he interviewed both of them about this very thing. And Richard Kay was like, no, Prince Charles, he made sure and made it a rule that anybody says anything bad about Princess Diana, they will be fired or whatever it is he said. And then so Patrick Jefferson came back at him. He's like, okay, so do you know anybody who works for the Prince of Wales, which he was at the time, that have lost their jobs because they have spoken and leaked stuff about Diana? And Richard Kay had to admit no. And he's like, okay, do you know anyone of Prince Charles's friend who leaked the stuff on Princess Diana to the press and to those authors? Do you know any of those that have lost their relationship, their friendship with Prince Charles because of that? And he had to admit no. And so it was just the same, and it's literally the same thing that William is doing. It's literally the same thing. So he has his cronies in the press come out and be like, no, he's doing the same. And it's just like, no, you're doing exactly the same thing. Because the people who've been leaking, none of them have lost their job. You still have your staff. They're the same ones that's been leaking. Those so-called friends who've leaked to Robert Lacey, we haven't heard of any of his friends. He's, giving up his friends because they leak. Because why? He's the one that, allowed them to leak it. And so it's just very, oh my gosh. This man is just like, Prince Charles literally imprinted himself onto Prince William. And I didn't bring this in because I literally saw this and burst out laughing right before I came on Twitter. Apparently there's another one of those things that, got, leaked. And one part of it where Harry's talking about, look at, apparently he had some secret meeting with William, and he says, which seemed to be it. I mean, it may have been either at the Queen's funeral or Prince Philip's funeral. I'm not sure. He says, he had a meeting with William and his dad, and he said he looked at William for the first time in a very, very long time. He feels like he's finally saw William for the first time in a long time, just really paid attention to him. And one of the things he noticed is like he was really shocked by how bald his hair was. He's like, it was very startling. And another thing, he noticed was that William, had this scowl on his face, and he said it's the same scowl he's always had in his face whenever he had to deal with him, Harry. And then he also said that the other thing he saw is that Princess Diana's looks, he seemed to have lost all of Princess Diana's looks. And I burst out laughing because I know squatties have always been laughing at that Princess Diana snatched her looks away from him. And it was just so funny that that's the thing that Harry noticed, that Princess Diana snatched her looks away. And I was just like, I just burst out laughing. It was just like, it's just funny that he would notice those things and just comment on it. I'm telling you, Harry has no filter. He literally has no filter. And I love it. He's like a kid. And I love stuff like that because I work with kids and they literally have no filter. They'll just say, with no malice at all, they will just say. And so I absolutely just love it. I can't wait to read the book. I'm hoping they release it early because, again, it's been leaking, so they might as well, but we'll see. Is W Smile. Oh, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for your support. Thank y'all. Let's see. What else I got? One of the things that this was actually, I think I forgot to put in the New York Post. Apparently, someone who may have been the same person who leaked part of it to the Guardian may have been the same person who leaked this information to the Post, that in the book, Harry talks about the Nazi costume that he wore. Of course, we know that he addressed that in the Harry and Meghan docuseries, and, taking ownership of that. And really, he said that, it's one of the biggest mistakes of his life, and that, he was able to go and meet with rabbis. I think he went to, I think it was Germany, and spoke to, I think, Holocaust survivors. I think that's, if I remember correctly, I may have gotten that backwards. But one of the things he said in here is that Kate and William, which Robert Lacey spoke, if you read Robert Lacey's book, Robert Lacey said this, what was it, 2021, when his book came out? He said this, that William, he didn't mention Kate, he mentioned William was a part of, when Harry got that costume, William was a part of that. And apparently, according to Harry, Kate, Harry had two costumes, and Kate and William told him to wear, the Nazi costume. They chose the Nazi costume as one, and apparently they had a big laugh about it. It was a big joke for them. And Harry's the only one that, obviously, he's the one that, wore it. And so he is the one, obviously, that it got pinned on because, again, he's the one that wore it. And again, he's a 20-year-old. You got to take responsibility for that, obviously. But what people didn't know was Kate and William's involvement. And you could say, oh, Harry, why don't you just take responsibility for that by yourself? Did you need to bring your brother into it, even though they were there? You already took responsibility for it. Why bring your brother in? Well, it is a very, very important that he brings William and Kate in this. Why? Because William and Kate have been involved with Holocaust survivors. They have been doing engagements, like you see at 2020. Up there it says, today Kate Middleton and Prince William honored millions of lives lost during the Holocaust at the UK Holocaust Memorial Day commemorative ceremony. They have been doing stuff with Holocaust survivors. And if you remember, at the bottom you can see that their stories will stay with us. Kate Middleton photographed Holocaust survivors for an upcoming exhibit, and she did a bunch of photos with them. Actually, very good photos. I actually, as a photographer, I like them. She did a good job, I have to say. But again, this is a person who in whatever year this was with Harry, he was like 20 whatever, 2005. They all were part of this with this Nazi costume, and they were perfectly fine. Both of them were perfectly fine. Harry wearing his Nazi costume, and it's so wild because they had an interview with the place that rented the costume, and they said that costume, that Nazi costume, is very popular among the upper class people. That's one of the most popular ones when they do these, fancy dress, I guess they call it. I think in the UK, or UK squads could correct me, I think it's called fancy dress parties, where we call it like costume parties. That apparently the Nazi costume is actually one of the favorite ones for people. They're always the guy who rented it said, he even said when he was doing his own birthday, 3 people came in Nazi costumes. The problem was they didn't realize the place they had the birthday party, there was also a bar mitzvah, or I think it was a bar mitzvah right next door or something. And if you know what a bar mitzvah, that's Jewish. And there they all showed up with Nazi costume. That didn't go over well. And so this is the kind of environment. This is why I always say with that, yes, what Harry did was horrible with that costume. There was no excuse for it. You cannot excuse that. It was wrong. Hello. So whatever, he got, the stick he got for that was deserved. But William and Kate have never been implicated in this at all. They have never taken responsibility. They've never owned it. They have most likely never got, Harry went and, got educated himself and meet people. What has William and Kate done to educate themselves? And I'm not saying people can't do stuff, they can't, but the fact that they had not take ownership of this, and the fact that we are only now learning that Kate Middleton was part of this whole thing, that is very concerning. It's, again, she is meeting with these Holocaust survivors. I think they do every year because, I've always seen her doing something with them. And again, she did this whole photography thing with them. And that is why I always say with these engagements with the royal family, it's just something they do. They are not invested in any of this stuff. They are not invested in any of this stuff. It's something they do to make them look like they're doing something, to make, it's like, okay, we have to be busy. We have to do something. And it's like, how do you, not own something especially when you're going to go around, what do you think those survivors that she's been around, what do you think they'll be thinking when they learn this? And it's just unbelievable. And again, you could be saying, well, Harry, you already took responsibility. But again, these people are going around there claiming, whether they are patrons or whatever of these organizations, it's another, evidence that these things are just things that they do. They're not invested in it. I mean, William, abusive. There are so many people on Twitter like, oh, no, they're just brothers, they're boys. And I was like, and so there's been a lot of correction on Twitter. It's like, I'm sorry, they're not boys, they are men. And so if you have 2 30-something-year-olds still fighting each other, there are issues there. That's just not 2 kids, fighting around, 2 brothers, little kids fighting. That's normal stuff. But even that, you have to correct those behaviors so that way they don't grow up doing stuff like that. And if people are doing that and they're putting their hands on you at 30, that is not 2 brothers. That is assault. That is criminal. That is where police need to be investigating. And I would be surprised if Metropolitan Police don't start investigating this, because what Harry described is an assault. That is an assault. And that is a crime. And so there's, again, so many people trying to like, oh, no, it's just boys being boys, it's just brothers. No. That's not just brothers. You don't do stuff like that. That is a criminal, that is an assault. And that is a crime. So it's kind of dawning on people now that, oh my goodness, this might be a constitutional crisis. This might be an issue here, because this is where police need to be involved. And so now it's like, well, how do we know it's just Harry's side of it? How do we know it's true? Well, William could always speak, that Never complain, never explain thing. As Harry said, that's just a saying. That's not, whatever. There is nothing stopping William from denying it. There's nothing stopping him. He could deny it anytime he wants. He can come, and if Harry is wrong, he can. And again, this is somebody who talks about mental health, who has the heads together, and all of these things. And that is why I've been being banging this thing over and over, that I cannot believe any mental health organization will have either William or Kate be a part of the. They are not mental health advocates. They are not. William's behavior, from what I have seen and what I am, reading, and his behavior, this is somebody who has never ever dealt with his anger issues. There are so many videos, not so many, there are few videos of him as a child taking out his anger on his father, reading about him taking it out on his mom, screaming, pushing her, and all of those things. I even read something from an archive. It looks like a library article, because they have all the printing on it that looks like a library of him holding a gun and pretending to shoot Harry, and Harry was pretending to be his dad, and he was shooting and kind of freaked his mother out, and had to take the gun away. I mean, William has had these issues from since he was a child. He was like a holy terror. And I think it was not Jepson. I forgot which one of the security. There was a saying where Princess Diana one time, I think, said to William, I love you, but I don't really like you right now, or something like that. Which Robert Jobson, lying, twist that around to make it like the nanny saying that to Harry, which is completely opposite of what the bodyguard, Princess Diana bodyguard, wrote in his book. And so, but William has had these issues from since he was a child, and William, it seems, has never ever dealt with them. They're always saying, "Oh, William is the calm one. He just moves on and soldiers on." Yeah, he just stuffs it, and then it blows out at people. I don't think William has ever dealt with his rage, and I don't think he's ever dealt with his mother's death. And that just stuff that if you don't deal with that stuff, if you don't really get help for that stuff, am I shocked that it's blowing up at people? No, at all. I am not shocked at all. And so that, for me, these people should not be anybody's, mental health organization, child care, like Kate with this early years stuff. I was like, if you can do and treat your sister-in-law the way you guys have treated Meghan, no one should allow you in there to anybody's, early years charities at all, and then, and now we're looking at this, and it's just like, no Holocaust survivor should be like, no, you have not owned your behavior here. And I'm not saying people can't change over time, whatever, but look, Harry got crucified for this. And you guys they stood there, watched Harry get crucified, and were silent. That speaks a lot to their characters. So, absolutely incredible. Amma, thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. What else I got? Oh, GMA. Normally I don't watch ABC because they have, they are just very pro-royal, but ran into this on Twitter today. Harry is going to be doing an interview with Michael Strahan. And so he got Tom and Anderson, and on Monday, he's going to be doing an interview with Michael Strahan at ABC. And this is a little bit about what it says. It says he is not holding back anything. He's not holding anything back at Michael Strahan, with a look at his interview with Prince Harry ahead of the release of his memoir, Spare, which covers his relationship with the Prince William, a time in the military, and much more. And that's going to be on Monday. And so a little bit of the snippet, I know Harry talked about, they're just little bit snippets about, William being jealous, like the heir being jealous of the Spare. which we knew, Michael, he read the book. He said he read it from cover to cover, and he's like, it's amazing how honest and open Harry is. He said it is, some of the things is jaw dropping. He's like, from the first page to the last page, your mouth is gonna hang open. So he is real and raw, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna read this under my covers, hiding. Like I said, I don't think Harry has spared anyone. No spare. He has not spared anyone, not even himself. Everything is uncovered and laid bare. And this is what he said, a little bit of what he said. He says, ultimately, when it comes down to is, I don't think we can ever have peace in my family unless the truth is out there. The Duke of Sussex says in a promotional clip for the interview. So prepare for your mouth to drop open, and it's going again. Buckle up. Yeah. And he also ITV dropped a clip of we know that they're going to be doing the interview on Sunday, and so ITV dropped another clip today, and some of a little bit of what they said. Harry said, I don't know how staying silent is ever going to make things better. And Tom said, some of what he says, this is a part of what he says, wouldn't your brother say, Harry, how could you do this to me? After everything we've been through, isn't this what you would say? And Harry said, well, he'd probably say all sorts of things. Tom says, then Tom brought up, well, these are some of the accusations that people are going to throw at you. Some of it would be invading the privacy of your nearest and dearest. And so Harry says, those accusations would be from people who don't understand or don't want to believe that my family have been briefing the press, basically briefing the press against him and Meghan, especially. And Tom says, asking him about the coronation, he says, will you come? If you're invited, would you come? And Harry says, there's a lot that can happen between now and then, but the door is always open. The ball is in their court. There's a lot to be discussed, and I really hope they are willing to sit down and talk about it. And so Tom also asked him about the monarchy. He's like, do you still believe in the monarchy? Harry said yes. And he said, do you think you will have be a part of the monarchy or have a role in the monarchy? And I think Harry says, I don't know. And so that's some of that trailer from ITV. So again, that'll be on Sunday on ITV, and oh my goodness, it will be amazing. I am sure. I am out doing a photo job, so I'm going to be sneaking peeks, trying to find any clips that I can in between shoots, in between shots on Sunday. I was like, I picked the worst day to have a shoot, man. It's like, but it'll be all right. And so again, that's that. But all in all the drama in the UK, Spare is number one. That's all that matters. That after all the drama, Spare is number one. It's all that they can talk about. It's all over the television. As everybody have all sorts of opinion. Spare is number one. So that's the most important part. So I'm going to jump in the chat for a bit. And before we move on, let's see. Joyce says, the best interviews you'll get on the book, I think, will be in the US interviews. The UK press will twist everything to suit them and how they want to report the story. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I mean, you can see right away from just the way how Anderson Cooper's trailer is, and also the way how Michael Strahan, talked about Harry and what it is he wants to accomplish. And, what he said about the book is a lot of it is about his relationship with William. Also too, just resenting being a spare. He didn't want to be a spare. And, but a lot of it, he says, a lot of it devoted to growing up with William and all of that. And a lot of it is about, the military, which we knew, the military, and his focus now is obviously his kids and being a husband. But the overriding theme, he says, is about healing, about all the things he's gone through. And he says, when you read this book, it's like his life has been a doozy. It's like the things he has lived. So we're going to travel with Harry. And so, so he said the book is about him healing and finding love that helped him through healing, which is exactly what he had already said. So, in spite of all those other things, the book, the overall, he said it's about him healing. And so, hey, love it. So it's going to be raw and real and spare. Let's see. Cheryl W says, I want Willie Leaks to get his due. Somebody needs to treat him the same way he treated Harry. I wouldn't that be amazing? But he is an heir. They will protect him at all cost. At all cost. Unfortunately. Church Nelly, our awesome moderator, says, why are no pictures of Peggett at that party? The costume he was wearing. There actually were pictures. When the person who gave the photo of Harry in the Nazi outfit to the son, they didn't even realize when they gave it to them, they didn't even notice Harry with the Nazi thing on his shirt. They gave them a picture of William in his costume. And that is what they were trying to sell. And that picture of Harry was in there. And then they went with that picture. That's the way how they traded. They saw a picture of whatever William was dressed up that apparently was offensive. And whatever it is costume he was wearing, that's what they were selling to the son. They happened to have this picture that they didn't even realize of the Nazi costume. And instead of using the William picture, the son used Harry's. And so that also added, and that was one of the big, and if you go by Robert Lacey's book, Robert Lacey had mentioned that was when their whole relationship changed, when Harry realized, he got so much flack for that, obviously, worldwide condemnation, deservedly. But the fact that William and Kate were part of it, and especially William, and nobody said a word. Nobody, nobody talked about William's costume. He got away scotch-free, and all of it dropped on Harry. And that started of the big resentment that Harry felt long before Meghan. And that was when their relationship started, really going south, apparently. So we'll hear from Harry if that's the same thing he, from his book as well, and his perspective as well. It'll be interesting. But yeah. The son had those pictures of William, and they instead used Harry and threw Harry under the bus. Sawbus TV. Hi, Sawbus TV. I have not seen you here before, so welcome. I'm happy you're here. Sawbus TV says, William is evil, but they are very much not a racist family. Oh, no, they are very much not a racist family. Absolutely not. They are wonderful, soft, cuddly ones. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, I'm scrolling down. Maureen Reed. Hi, Maureen Reed. How are you? Maureen says, Michael Strahan also interviewed him for Good Morning America. Michael Strahan read the book, and he said Prince Harry opened up a lot. Yes, he did. Absolutely did. So yeah, and actually one of our squaddies tweeted that he is a friend of Michael's, and that Michael is a really great guy. I've only ever seen him on TV, so I don't know anything about Michael other than he used to play football. Beyond that, don't know. Let's see. Brenda says, I knew William told Harry to wear the Nazi costume. I remember hearing about it. Yeah, but nobody has ever tagged William with it. He has never, ever had to face the responsibility. He's never had to face the consequence of being a part of that. And now we know Kate was a part of it. Neither of them has had to face it, only Harry. And so I can understand why Harry is resentful about that. And still, I'd be bitter too. I'd be totally bitter. Let's see. Tiger says, is there any way to watch the U.S. interviews after they air for us non-U.S. residents? I am going to put, hopefully to get some links. I'll check our community page. I'll put it there. But if you go up, someone said for the CBS and maybe the ABC one as well, apparently the day after the interviews, they will be on their website. Don't quote me on that. But that's what I heard. So that's an option too. But what I will do, I will put I will if I come across any links of where you can watch it, how you can watch it. But I mean, obviously, if you're in the US, CBS, or if you're able, wherever you are, if you're able to get CBS television, that would be there, or ABC television, that would be there. So, and also for me, obviously we're not in the UK. I'm not in the UK. So if you guys, and I'm going to also look for myself, if you guys know of any links to watch the ITV, the interview, that would be amazing, because obviously I don't have access to that here. So that would be great if you have any links or any way that we can be able to watch it, that would be fantastic as well. So we can share. So as soon as I get any information, I will post it on our community page. So yeah. Let's see. Georgia Walker says Willie and Kate both need a lot of mental help. I'm really worried about their children. Can you imagine what they are going through? God help those children. I'm telling you, we talked about this when little Louis put his hand over his mom's mouth. And one of the things I was saying about that was, I taught kids for a few years. I taught very little ones. And one thing I know about them is the majority of the times I never even have to guess who the parent are, because I would just, be with the kids. And when I come upstairs, I can just look at the behavior of the people up there and I could pick out parents. Because one of the things with kids is they imitate what they see. They imitate what's around them and what people do around them. And they will say things and you're like, oh my goodness, what did you get done? And a lot of time it comes from mommy and daddy, and they will out you if you're saying bad things, because they will repeat it and they mimic behavior, and that's how they learn, And so when I saw that just was so jarring for me, because I'm like, for you to get to a place where you're pointing in your mother's face and you're putting your hands in her face and putting your hands over her mouth, for me, that was learned behavior. And I hate to bring him, a little baby, he's a baby, he's a 4-year-old, into this. But for me, that was what alarmed me during the Jubilee, because I'm like, there is something very wrong in that family for a child to do that. You don't do things like that. And you definitely don't. I mean, I'm a Caribbean person. If I tried that with my grandmother, I would be buried in like 5 minutes. No, 5 minutes flat, I would be in my grave if I were to ever do something like that, And that is the thing that is just so jarring and shocking, because one of the things I really, and people, definitely different people disagreed with me, and no, it's just a child. I'm like, no. Stuff like that is learned behavior. He's seen somebody do that to mom. No. And this is the thing that concerned me with someone with that kind of temper as William, with that kind of fuse that just blows his fuse at the drop of a hat. That baby has seen somebody do that to his mama. That's what he's doing. It's just learned behavior. He's just mimicking. He gets irritated like he saw the adult do. And when he did, he just imitated what they do. And so I'm just like, and I don't know. I don't like to judge people's things, and I try to stay out of people's personal romantic relationships. But, are they even together? Like, she's in Windsor. Is he live in Windsor? Does he live at Kansas? Who knows? I don't know. But there's this, feeling that maybe they aren't even together. I don't know. I try to stay out of that. But it's just, I don't know. It's very concerning to me. It's very, very concerning, because, again, I don't care who these children's parents are. I don't care what I feel about their parents. These are innocent children. And I want them to be safe, as I would want Archie and Lily to be safe. I want them to be safe as well, because they're innocent children. And so it's very concerning to me. But anyway, again, mind my business. Let's see. Who else is talking? Angela says it was a colonial and natives party. Everyone was dressed in offensive costumes. Harry was the only one they focused on. That's right. That's right. You are so right. Yes, because I remember that when they said the people who gave the son the photos, they gave it with whatever William's offensive costume was, part of which I think they said was black tights. And that was what they thought they were selling to the son, and then the son turned it around and used Harry's photo instead. Yeah. So thank you, Angela, that it was all, and apparently this is very popular among the rich, the elites of the UK, and they don't see any problems with it. So let's see. What else? Oh, so someone was mentioned this article yesterday, and I've had this in my inbox for a couple of days, and I didn't get a chance to read it. So I am gonna put this in. The link is gonna be in our on our show notes. So I definitely suggest, or encourage you to read it. It's about as it says, Piers Morgan, the brittle bully. And it's really good. It just really went after Piers Morgan and his really vicious, nasty bullying behavior towards and abusive behavior towards Meghan. And this is written by Steve Schmidt. And Steve Schmidt, if it's the same person, I remember Steve Schmidt really going after Piers Morgan about a year ago and really just owned him. And so apparently when Steve wrote this article on Monday, Piers Morgan blocked him on Twitter, as we are seeing here. And so a little bit of the article this is just little snippets. The article has a lot of really good things. So again, the link would be in the show notes. It says, Piers Morgan is common. He's a common bully. He's a cheap television thug, and he's a very brittle man. He blocked me on Twitter following the publication of my essay on Monday. Like all bullies, he's a coward. Like all narcissists, he's an abuser. Like much of the vicious British media and all the Murdoch media, he is corrupt, he is vicious, he's nasty, he's mean, he's cruel. What he has done to Meghan Markle is an abomination that is only exceeded by the palace courtiers who allowed it to happen. They did this by entering into information transaction that metastasized into character assassination carried out by sleazies like Morgan. Another part of the article, it says, it has been reported that King Charles wishes to modernize the monarchy. Among his modernization ideas is for him to be described as defender of all faiths, as opposed to defender of the faith at his coronation. It's nice sentiment, but seems a bit of a reach given the refusal of the institution he leads to defend his closest family members from slander and abuse of cowards like Morgan. Silence is indeed becomes betrayal at some point. Prince Harry hasn't attacked his family or the monarchy. He defended his wife, and he's told the truth about the symbiotic relationship between the palace and the media that brutalized her. And so it's a lot more, it's just juicy. So definitely read it. And kudos to Steve Schmidt, obviously. Piers Morgan can give it out. He can dish it out, but he cannot take it. When you come at him, he's very quick to block you. He's very, very quick to block you. So, yeah. I know my old Twitter account, he had blocked me because I called him out for using what is that older man? He did that fundraiser and he passed away. He's with that walker. I forgot what his Tom Jones or Tom, whatever his name is. The military gentleman, elderly gentleman who did that major fundraiser. And when he died, Piers Morgan just basically was using him for publicity and using his death for publicity. And so I called him out and he blocked me. So I haven't really paid much attention with this account. So if I do, I'm sure he'll do the same. Let's see what else I got. Oh, yes, finally this. So we talked about this for like a minute, I think yesterday, with Camilla Tominey, and I'm telling you, I don't think there's a more wretched woman alive than Camilla Tominey. This racist, abusive woman is just like it seems like it's her mission in life. Whatever Meghan is attached to, Camilla Tominey feels the need that she needs to destroy it. I mean, she is the one with, obviously the one with Kate make Meghan cry. She was part of the Sally Jones, who, that they claim that Meghan had her security told her to not take pictures of her at Wimbledon. Camilla Tominey was obviously the one who linked the women at Grenfell with a cookbook. They linked them to a terrorist organization. Camilla was the one who, when Meghan guest edited Vogue, attacked Meghan, calling her like she is racist because she didn't put enough white people undercover. How dare she put all those black faces undercover? Why didn't she put the Queen? Why didn't she put more white face? I mean, Camilla, it's like, when Meghan did the bench, she was lying on Baby Arch. I mean, it's on and on. Camilla Tominey just feels like she needs to destroy anything Meghan put at her hand to. And it's just like this sick obsession with destroying a Black woman. And it's just unbelievable to me that she is allowed to platform her to do this kind of thing. So of course Meghan and Harry are doing Lift to Lead, and oh my goodness, it is getting such rave reviews in every way. So, but they haven't really done much publicity. Even Nelson Mandela's foundation, they didn't do much up until today, And then, of course, yesterday, Camilla Tominey and this reporter from Australia came up with this nonsense. Oh, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex used Mandela's name, is upsetting and tedious, claims his granddaughter. And Richard Eden, he also chimed in. I guess somebody at the Daily Mail wrote about it. If Prince Harry and Meghan have been granted their wish to combine money-making with official duties, the royal family would have been dragged into this sort of row on a regular basis. And below he says, Nelson hashtag Mandela's daughter accuses Prince Harry and Meghan of stealing his words to make millions. Hashtag royal. Read the story Thursday in the Daily Mail. And so they have this whole lie about Meghan and Harry using Nelson Mandela's name to make money for themselves. And how dare they, Nelson Mandela is God. So whatever he says, nobody on earth can use his words because he is God himself. I mean, like, it's so ridiculous. Nelson Mandela was a great man, but he is not God. Anybody could use his words. It's just ridiculous. Unless it's copyrighted in a book, and that, you can't use the copyright. You can use his words. He's not God. It's so ridiculous that they would come up with this. But obviously, British press trying to muddy something that is amazing. And Camilla Tominey goes on to write, Duke and Duchess of Sussex use Mandela's name is upsetting and tedious, claims his granddaughter, Naliki Mandela, attacked the couple for using the late South African's president in their documentary to pull in ratings to fund their life. And this is the despicable Camilla Tominey. And when we talked about it yesterday, I remember one of you guys mentioned, like, it could have been a lie, because I was saying, because I know that when Harry did, he did the UN speech, Nelson Mandela's grandson went on Piers Morgan, and they did this interview with the Daily Mail, basically attacking Harry for doing it, and just nonsense. So for me, would I have been, I wasn't shocked when I saw it, because I was like, oh, that's another one. So if you heard me yesterday, I was more like, whatever, they've done that before. So I didn't think it was a lie, but I should have known, right? I should have known. It's Camilla Tominey. How could I even, consider that to be any truth? I mean, and I had seen, like, apparently they said that she'd given the interview to an Australian outlet, and I'd seen that. So that's probably part of why I felt like, oh, I guess she probably did say it. But again, Camilla Tominey's attacked, so I should have known better that it was all just a lie. And obviously, I mean, there's a thing with, if my thing is like, how despicable and gross and vile do you have to be fact-checked by, of all things, the Fox News? For Fox News to fact check you and call you out as a liar and be correct. It's the most amazing thing. I think Camilla Tominey might be the only person that I've ever known that Fox News has literally fact checked and called out a liar, and Fox News is correct. I mean, this is where we are, because Fox News is the one that contacted Nelson Mandela's granddaughter and wrote that it's a whole big lie. Nelson Mandela's granddaughter did nothing of the kind. And it's, yes, you can see Fox News, Nelson Mandela's granddaughter defends Prince Harry and Meghan Markle use of the Legends quote in their new docu-series. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle use Mandela's quote as the inspiration for their, I guess, new docu-series Live to Lead. And it goes on to says, and she says, I watched I watched the first 2 episodes of Live to Lead. Nidlika, I'm not sure if I'm even saying that right, told Fox News Digital, I honestly don't find anything wrong with them using the opening thing, using that opening inspirational I'm sorry. I honestly don't find anything wrong with them using that opening thing inspirational with a quote of Granddad. I just think people are making a mountain out of a molehill, and they're wanting to persecute Meghan and Harry for no reason, honestly. She added, I mean, Meghan has always been an activist, and this is her activism work, which my grandfather was. He was a social justice activist through and through. She goes on to say, Nidlika emphasized that Nelson Mandela launched his political career through social activism and compared that journey to Prince Harry and Markle's. At this point, at his enter point into politics was through social activism, which is exactly what Meghan and Harry are doing. Like I said early on, a lot of people use Granddad's quote, and nobody has made such a big rah-rah as they're making out of Harry and Meghan using the quote. And so it goes on to say, Fox News Digital can confirm that Nedlika hasn't criticized Harry and Meghan for the use of her grandfather, in the opening of the show. And it's just like, I mean, literally, if you are an outlet, I know the Telegraph is the pits, and I know the Daily Mail is the pits, but I mean, if you have any kind of any integrity, all you had to do, you're on Twitter. Just type in at Nelson Mandela. This is what's on Nelson Mandela's Twitter feed. They posted it yesterday. They started posting from the 19th, or the 15th, whenever it first dropped about Live to Lead. I mean, this is what you'll find. On the 19th, the foundation is proud to announce the launch of the new Netflix series, on effective leadership and collaboration with Blackwell and Ruth and Archwell. And as I said, we'll get to that in a second. But, and then today, to January 5th, they posted this, extraordinary leaders reflect their legacies and share messages of courage, compassion, and humility. Live to Lead is now streaming on Netflix. All they had to do, these people are all on Twitter who wrote this, their lies. All they had to do was at Nelson Mandela, and they will find this stuff. It's right there. And if that wasn't enough, they could just click on the website. This is the first thing you see on the website when you go on their website, NelsonMandela.com. That's all you have to do. And it's right there. And it's so amazing to me that it's like, wow, this is the kind of reporting that they feel like the people of the UK deserve. And just like, it's unbelievable. And if I looked at Camilla Tominey's feed, and there she has thousands of people liking her lies about this thing. And you're like, wow. All they had to do was go on NelsonMandela.com. And even today, this is the CEO, Silo Hatang. He's the CEO of the Nelson Mandela Foundation. He did an interview with I guess it's a online news outlet, Newsroom Africa. It's like a 9-minute interview. I'm going to post the link in the show notes. And he talks about how the idea came together, how Ruth and Blackwell came to him, and how they created it, and how they brought in Archwell. And like I was saying yesterday with with executive producers, is exactly what he said. He brought them in. They did, they added a lot of I guess would be the maybe the B-roll footage and stuff to make it into what it needs to be, and then their presence in the production is what gave them the link to Netflix. to give it a worldwide audience, and that's their, their big contribution to this project. Because if it wasn't for Meghan and Harry and Oswald, we wouldn't have heard about this. Because so it is just fantastic. And apparently, according to CeeLo, this is just part one. They're working on more. So he said that they have interviewed like 9 other people, I guess. So expect another series of this. And so they are hoping that their partners, I guess, with Blackman and Ruth and Oswald would still be with them for the other series going forward. But it's like a word of mouth, and it's building from word of mouth, because more and more people are talking about it, and more people are tweeting about it. So it's really, really great. And he was talking about all the great feedback he was getting. So all of this came out today, and I think they put this stuff out today because of that negative stuff that Camilla Tominey and her crazy trolls were doing yesterday to try to muddy this. And again, if you've seen it, it's such a powerful series that they would really go out of their way to try to destroy it because of Harry and Meghan's connection with it. So I'm glad, I was wrong, and his granddaughter spoke out. I'm glad to see, Mandela Foundation speaking out about it, and they put out this video, and so we've been tweeting about it on Twitter, etc. So it's really great. So it's I'm really, really happy to see that. So yeah, it's really, really sick for me that people would just go out of their way for no reason other than meanness, for no reason other than nastiness. And of course, Camilla Tominey is a liar, is obviously trending as it usually trends, so unbelievable. Let's see. Black Queen says, hi, Petal and everyone. Seemed like I'm coming down with a bug. It never fails. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please stay in bed. I don't know. I'm assuming it's the flu, so get lots of rest, lots of fluid. I don't eat chicken soup, but I knew that chicken soup used to work when I used to have chicken soup. So lots of fluid. Please stay in bed. Let them take care of you and feel better. I'm so sorry. I know this is, if you're in New York and the weather just goes back and forth, that makes everybody a lot of people sick, including moi. So I'm kind of staying away. So let's see. Kathy Gabby says, is everyone surprised that Spare leaked in the UK? It's part of the media culture ingrained in them. Lazy leakers. Well, I was going on about the UK being the leakers until I found out that it was somebody from New York got the first one, and I was like, oops. So, but they leaked it to an outlet in the UK. So I don't know if the US outlet, if they tried to leak it in the US and the US weren't buying it and they weren't doing it. I don't know. But it's odd that he is an American journalist, apparently a journalist, and they chose to leak it in the UK instead of the US. Who knows? Or maybe they were paying more money then. I have no idea. But it's just kind of odd. But the pride, the blame for that, unfortunately, is an American. Gross. Very embarrassing. I had to eat crow on that one. So sorry, UK. I was just not there. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Cheryl W. Hello, Cheryl W. says, can Harry and Meghan sue that Timoni woman for lying consistently? It's so funny. One of those big accounts today was saying that on Twitter. I hope so, because she is not, it's one thing that she's going at Meghan, personally. It's another thing she's going at her professionally. She's trying to destroy her work. She's trying to destroy her reputation. She's attaching her name to things that are I mean, I really feel that they would have a case if they go after Camilla Tominey for libel, because there is so much evidence of her doing it and deliberately doing it, and she's doing it, a lot of it on national television, and nobody fact checks her. So I would look, I really, really hope. But again, Megan came out of, and if you saw how just she was just so tired at the end of the mail, suing the mail. And I don't want her to go through that again. She's trying to get her life together, and it's just two kids, and trying to get her, they're now taking over their business, where they are now the presidents of their company. So that's so much work. Diana is not there anymore, so it's just them and their new staff, and so it's just a lot. And so to take on another legal case for a report, I don't know necessarily how she wins there. She's not one. She's not going to win anything, because Camilla Tommy is a reporter. She's not a rich person, so you're not going to get anything monetarily. So the only thing you can go at really is going after the Telegraph, or going after This Morning, where she does a lot of that stuff and write a lot of that stuff. So Telegraph and This Morning, which is where she is a lot. So those are, because then you can sue them and you can actually get money from them. Camilla Tomini doesn't really have money. So, reporters there don't make a whole lot. So especially women reporters. So they're not, so I don't know what the benefit, other than she could win the case, yes, because there's so much evidence, but what does she get out of it? She's gonna lose so much more money than she'll ever get. And not that this is all about money, but it is about money. So yeah, that's the catch there. So I would say sue the Telegraph and This Morning. So oh, Lex is asking the same question. Yeah. Can Camilla be sued? I don't know the exact wording she used, but if she's lying, I personally think that's a good lawsuit. She will stop her lies. Yeah, again, you can sue her, because again, there's so much evidence of her really, you could sue her for libel. But again, what do you gain from it? Other than, yes, you win the case, but then it's so costly, to sue, that you end up losing so much more than you gain, I guess. But it would be cost effective. Like, for example, Megan could have sued the reporter that posted, that the reporter that posted her letter from her dad, that published that. They could have sued her, but she doesn't have money. So that's why they sued A&L, because that's who, they are the publishers. So, and that's who has the money. So there you go. Let's see. And though it says Oprah Winfrey interview still has unseen footage, Harry is telling the truth. The body language experts will be out in force on Sunday. God help us with the vultures to earn their pay. Oh, body language expert, lip readers, everything. They will all be out there investigating every single thing he does and says. And it's going to be spun every which way. And it just, they're already doing that with the excerpts that has come out already. So it's just unbelievable. Whew, I'm telling you, again, take your vitamins, get lots of rest. I'm talking to myself. I need to do both. Let's see. Wendy says Harry's book will sell extremely well after these leaks. The public interest is high. His book will be on all bestsellers. It's already there. So yeah, it's definitely is that number one. And with the interviews and also the leaks, obviously. And Louis says the leak was done through Spain. Okay. Well, I know the Sun got theirs. One of their reporters flew to Spain. I can't believe he said he flew to Spain to get the Spanish version. I was like, okay, well, that's dedication. Okay, that is definitely dedication to gossip and to getting Harry's. Of course, when the Guardian leaked it, they were all very jealous and posting jealous. How come the Guardian get it? The left-wing paper and not the Daily Mail? It's just like, because Harry hates you. So there you go. Cookies and Cream says the video of the CEO Nelson Mandela Foundation on Nelson Mandela's statements defending Sussex both need to trend on social media. Yes, I actually am going to post a video, actually an audio of his granddaughters actually saying what she, defending them. So you not only get to read it, but you get to hear her saying it as well. So I'm going to post all of them in the show notes at the end. So you can check it out there. Let's see. Going on. Bellissima says the book is on sale in Spain, and that's where the US-based Guardian reporter got his info. Oh, okay. So they all came out of Spain then. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, it is on. So okay, I was under the impression he got an English version, so I guess they all got it from Spain, because it's. I'm like, was it the language barrier that somehow the 10th became the 5th? Like, I don't even understand. I'm like, what? But hey, look, if they're buying it, good for them. So. So I mean, that's why I'm at the point where I'm like, well, why did you just drop the book early? Since it's already out there, people are they're talking about it, and the Sun is printing, they're making tons of money off of it. And it's like, well, I'd rather read the book than, to see screenshots of what they're talking about. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what they'll do. Let's see. Joy Cam says, if we don't use Nelson Mandela's works and talk about his actions, then people will not remember him and his memory. He will fade away into the mist. Thank you. Thank you. It's just like, what are you supposed to do? Like, he said those things and you just like, oh, no, it's so precious. We cannot say his words because, like, it's so ridiculous. If we could say God's words and that's God, why can't you say those? I mean, it's just the stupidest thing. Like, this is just stupid. This is just stupid. So, anyways, so I'm glad that's taken care of, and Camilla Tominey is put in her line place. So there we go. Let's see. Karen M, our awesome moderator, says, there is so many of them that should be sued. Most don't seem to care once they crunch the numbers for losses. Yeah, no, they don't care. They literally could sue every single one of them because they just lie and lie and lie and lie. You can literally sue every one of them. So, hey, Kathy G, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see. A couple more. Dale says, but I think when they sue is the company they need to sue. When they sue is the company they need to sue the person too, because that will stop also. That will stop them. Okay, that will stop them. Okay, if a person lose what little they have, that's great too. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Sue, like for example, sue Camilla, sue the Telegraph and This Morning, but also sue Camilla as well. Yeah, totally. I could totally see that. I could totally, because they need to be taught a lesson, because what they're doing, I mean, they're literally setting out to damage people's career, damage their character. I mean, it's unbelievable what they do, So again, also, if you go on the Nelson Mandela site, this is their media statement when they released or when they did this, like their press release for Live to Lead. So I will think I have the link to this. I'll post it there if you'd like to read it. This is them introducing and letting everyone know about Live to Lead, announced on Netflix. Yeah, so anyway, so that's it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I know it's I wanted to do my friend Lucky's today, but I think I'm gonna have to put it back to after the book, because if things are breaking like it is, and then it just throws everything off, and this is about this is about Spare right now. So I think I'm gonna have to hold it off, and then after we come down from Spare, start with start with the women, Black women who are doing amazing things, because it's just so much. And I don't want to rush it. I want to have time to be able to share about them and be, but with all of this stuff coming in at the same time, it's just too many things. So anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate every single one of you taking a moment of your day to come and spend time and chat royals. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Church Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, for just keeping the space amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to all our Two Cents crew members who out of the kindness of their heart, really support the channel. Thank you so much, each and every one of you. And also to our Gold Star supporters who as you've seen on here, supports whether donations, super chats, super thanks, super stickers. Thank you all so much. Also PayPal, Cash App, merchandise, anyhow that you support the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so I guess we will see. This is more of our super Gold Star supporters, and I guess we will see each other tomorrow. Keep your fingers crossed that maybe they'll drop the book, or that's it for the leaks, that they have plugged the holes, that we will get it on Tuesday, however they go. But right now I think we all just need to pray for Harry and Meghan, that they are fine under a tree somewhere in Montecito, just relaxing with all this chaos happening. So anyways, I love you guys. Have a fantastic evening. I'll put my banner up. Please go ahead and subscribe if you're new here. Definitely, if you like to, definitely click share and like the podcast. And if you're able, go ahead and join our 2 Cents crew. That would be amazing as well. So thank you guys. I love you all, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.